You've all seen photos and videos of Sherman tanks burning in World War II and heard all sorts of myths about them, from Tommy Cooker to Ronson, nicknames implying they lit up like lighters. But today we'll dive into the reality. What really happened to the crews inside when hit? Why was it more horrifying than you imagine? And importantly, why was the M4 Sherman still one of history's most successful tanks, despite its deadly flaws? We'll start from its origins, go through brutal battles, and end with the improvements that saved thousands of lives. Let's explore. After World War I, U.S. tank development basically stalled. By 1939, America had only about 400 light tanks, mostly M2s, thin-armored, tall, no match for what other nations had. Meanwhile, Germany was perfecting blitzkrieg, using tanks as spearheads for lightning attacks. When war reached North Africa, the U.S. rushed out the quirky M3 Lee, with a fixed 75mm gun in the hull and an outdated 37mm in the turret. It was a stopgap to buy time. From this came the M4 Sherman in 1941, inheriting a reliable chassis and drivetrain from the M3, but with a fully welded hull to avoid shrapnel from riveted armor, which could create supersonic fragments inside when hit. The Sherman featured a 75mm gun, strong enough for infantry support with high firepower, but not a tank killer. U.S. doctrine prioritized mass production, high reliability, and easy maintenance over creating monsters like the German Tiger. Over 49,000 were built, becoming the backbone of Allied armor. The first Shermans saw action with the British in North Africa in 1942, just in time for the Second Battle of El Alamein. About 250 were repainted in desert camouflage, and the Brits praised their reliability. They started easily, unlike old British tanks. The 75mm gun outperformed the old 50mm, easily destroying Panzer III and IV before German upgrades. But the Americans had a different experience. They landed in North Africa late 1942 with a mix of M3 Lees and Shermans, lacking experience. At Kasserine Pass, green U.S. forces were crushed by veteran panzers and 88mm guns under Desert Fox Rommel. They were overconfident, not grasping tactics, leading to shattered formations. Survivors learned hard lessons in blood and came back stronger. The Sherman wasn't designed for one-on-one duels with Tigers or Panthers. Instead, Allies used numerical superiority, often 5 Shermans versus 1 Panther, combined with air support, like P-47 Thunderbolts, and artillery. This tactic compensated for weaknesses, turning the Sherman into a tool for exploiting breakthroughs after infantry opened the way. Now, the real horror. Why did Shermans burn so easily? Not mainly the gas engine, though more flammable than diesel, but ammo storage. In early versions, 75mm shells were in open racks on the hull sides, the most vulnerable spots. A penetrating hit sparked a secondary explosion. Crews often overloaded ammo from 97 to 140 rounds out of fear of running out, worsening it. Burn rate after hits, up to 70 to 80%. Hatches were a nightmare. Early Shermans had one two-piece hatch for 3 turret crew, commander, gunner, loader. In a fire, they scrambled through a narrow exit, while driver and assistant had small ones. Thick smoke and rapid flames trapped many. CO2 fire extinguishers were available, but in reality, crews had seconds to bail out. Crew psychology. They called Shermans steel coffins, living in fear of burning alive. Before battles, many carried lucky charms or prayed. Evacuation drills were strict, touch hatches to escape in 3 to 5 seconds. But smoke and fire often disoriented them. Sherman's biggest killers weren't giant German tanks, but anti-tank guns and mines. Pak-38, 50mm, easily penetrated early armor. Pak-40, 75 millimeters, with high-velocity haunted allies. The 88 millimeter, originally anti-air, penetrated from 2 kilometers, often killing gunner or commander with fragments. German rounds often had delayed explosives, detonating inside like grenades. Panzerfaust and Panzerschreck used HEAT warheads, molten metal streams piercing up to 200 millimeters armor, causing severe burns, asphyxiation, or instant death. Teller mines, 5 to 7 kilograms explosives, blew tracks or flipped tanks, trapping crews. Horrific experiences. Imagine a fuel and ammo-filled tank erupting, 3 scrambling through a narrow hatch amid bodies. One veteran recalled, "Our tank hit, gunner and commander killed instantly, piled on each other. I pushed them aside, but flames spread. Luckily, the turret aligned, I escaped via driver's hatch. In the Battle of Legati, France, 1944, French M4A2 Ourcq was hit by 88 millimeters in the turret. Commander Bouclet and loader Cadio died instantly. One bisected, one decapitated. Gunner Douillon, 18, escaped through the front, covered in blood and brains. Assistant driver Vercher, Spanish veteran, bravely returned to extinguish and drive it back safely, despite risk. Witness Bovarat wrote, "They felt no pain, but the sight chilled us." In Normandy, a British Firefly crew recounted downing a Panther but abandoning when Panzerfaust hit, surviving thanks to add-on armor. Death rates, U.S. 1944 to 1945. Study. 1 crew death per destroyed Sherman, lower than Soviet T-34's 2 per tank, despite T-34's 4 crew. Compared to German Panzer IV 1.5 per tank, Sherman was safer due to larger hatches. The Allies didn't sit idle. From 1944, wet ammo storage, water glycol walls around shells, moved ammo to the floor, dropping burn rates from 80% to 10 to 15%. Larger oval spring-loaded hatches sped escapes. Loaders got their own. Auto-engine fire systems added precious seconds. Notable variants: Sherman Firefly, British, 17-pounder, gun-pierced, Tigers, Panthers at range, but ammo was hotter, 4 crew versus 5. Survival rates stayed high due to firepower. M4, A3E8, Easy 8, 76 millimeter gun, improved HVSS suspension, thicker armor, better mobility. Widely used in Ardennes and Korea, improvised armor. Crews added sandbags, wood, concrete against HEAT, though limited effectiveness. These upgrades saved thousands, turning the Sherman from nightmare to reliable ally. Despite easy destruction, Shermans were easy to repair and recover. Mechanics or Graves registration units cleaned them, hosing interiors, patching holes, repainting. Surviving crews often reorganized, taking new tanks back into battle. Many veterans suffered PTSD, nightmares of flames and lost comrades. But the Sherman influenced greatly. Its mass-producible design shaped the M26 Pershing and modern tanks. In the Pacific, it outclassed Japanese Type 97, 57 millimeter gun, thin armor. Overall, the Sherman helped win the war for the Allies through numbers and adaptability. German Tiger crews survived better due to thick armor, but heavy tanks with fewer hatches made escapes harder if destroyed. The M4. Sherman wasn't the burning junk of myths, but a testament to adaptation in war. Despite Tommy Cooker fame, it saved the world from fascism through reliability and upgrades. The crew's stories remind us of freedom's cost. If you want real footage or to share stories, comment below. Thanks for watching.